Are you worried about what could happen, what mistakes might happen when you try to move funds from your TSP to an IRA or to a Roth IRA? Then this may be the video for you. Hi, I'm Micah Shilanski, and this is the FERS Federal Fact Check. Today we have a question from Charles that's talking about a transfer that he wants to do from his TSP to a Roth IRA. Charles says, I'm considering transferring $10,000 from my TSP to my Roth IRA account in Fidelity. Your presentation mentioned TSP to IRA to Roth. What is the correct steps for my financial advisor? What is the difference between a rollover and a transfer? You know what, Charles, these are phenomenal questions. And this is something that in our industry, we have so much terminology and vocabulary that comes out, it's really easy to get confused. So let's kind of break this down to a couple steps. Let's answer those questions about what is a rollover versus a transfer. Then let's break down to some pros and cons about different ways to do things. All right, so the first thing let's talk about, what is this difference in terminology between a rollover and a transfer? Well, if you have your TSP account, and let's say you have $100,000 in your TSP, and you have an IRA account, and you say, hey, I have, and let's not worry about pros and cons and where money should be, etc., right? This is just an explanation of how things work. So you have your TSP, you got 100 grand in there, you want to put it in your IRA account. So you do a rollover. You call up and say, hey, I want to do a rollover. You call up TSP, they say, great, I'm going to abbreviate RO, rollover. They're going to send you a check. You're going to get the check. This is you, by the way. You like my artwork? All right, so you're gonna get the check. You then have 60 days to put $100,000 back in your IRA account for no penalties or taxes whatsoever. So here's the $1 million question. You had $100,000 in your account. You need to put $100,000 in this account over here. How much are you going to get? You are gonna get a check for $80,000. Not 100. How much do you need to put back? $100,000. Where is the difference? You gotta remember your favorite aunt, right? Your Aunt Iris, she's always there. The TSP is an employer-sponsored plan, like 401ks, etc. The IRS requires, when a distribution like this is taking place to an individual participant, then the IRS has to, the TSP must withhold at least 20% and send it to the IRS as an estimated tax payment. That's going to be not a penalty, a payment. You then have to put this money back. And if you have extra money in your bank account, you put 100 grand back. When you file your taxes for next year, you'll get this $20,000 back that the IRS took a little bit early. If you don't put that $20,000 back in, so if you only put 80 grand in, you may have taxes and penalties on what you didn't put back in. That is called a rollover. Probably one of the biggest things I could recommend is remove the term rollover from your vocabulary, right? That is not the thing to do. What you want to do is what's called a custodian to custodian transfer. And sometimes these words get used interchangeably, rollover and transfer. All right, you want to do a transfer. Now, if you only use the word transfer, you will not make a mistake. If you use the word rollover, you can make a mistake. Like, you could roll over an IRA to an IRA, and the money goes from one IRA to an IRA. So you're thinking, hey, it's the same thing. But it's not, because if I use the word rollover with an employer-sponsored plan, you have a problem. Only use the word transfer when you want to move money from one custodian to another custodian and not have to worry about tax implication. You're going to transfer. What happens at a transfer? The TSP takes 100 grand. They send a check to your custodian, Fidelity, Schwab, TD, whomever you particularly use. The money goes in there, no 60-day period, no 20% tax withholding. You only wish to use the word transfer, right? I think I said that 6 times. Transfer is the word we want to use to avoid any issues. Does that make sense? All right, so let's jump into the second part of the question here. I'm going to erase some of this because the second part of the question was he had mentioned something that I recommend, or I say you should at least look over, and I like to do kind of a two-step thing where when they talk about doing a Roth conversion, you have some money in your pre-tax money, you want to move money into a tax-free bucket, which is a Roth IRA, tax-free bucket. This is our Roth. So how is the best way to do this? Now you can go to TSP and do a direct transfer from TSP to a Roth account. This is a permissible activity that's done. The only thing that I hesitate about doing direct conversions like this from an outside custodian to another custodian is I have seen a lot of mistakes take place. Now, I'm not picking on TSP. I can pick on anybody with letterhead, right? Vanguard, Schwab, TD, TIA, CREF, you name it, that's there. We have seen some very unique things have taken place. So I want to streamline things to make them as simple and trackable as possible, and also where we can help out when we're working with our clients. So what does that mean to us? I only want to do like-kind transfers. Like kind. So however you owned money in your TSP, I want to send it over into a respective account that's there. So if all of this money was pre-tax, right, traditional money, it's never been taxed, then that means it should go to an IRA. So I want to send it over like kind. Now, if you had a portion of money which was tax-free in here, Roth money, then that's okay. Send this money via transfer. This money directly to the Roth, the rest of the money directly to your IRA. This is a like-kind transfer, really, really important because it simplifies things at the end of the year. You do the transfer now, next year that takes place, you're gonna get a 1099 from TSP for whatever you took out. You do your taxes, TurboTax your accountant. Again, mistakes can be made because it could be marked as a taxable transfer. So I want to make sure things are like kind because it streamlines everything done. So going back to your question, right? So if you had $100,000 in your TSP and you wanted to move $10,000 into a Roth IRA, I would first transfer $10,000 to a traditional IRA. Then I would convert that $10,000 to a Roth IRA. Now, anytime we're coming out of this IRA bucket, right? This was a transfer, we're going to a Roth, you have to pay taxes on this money. So at some point in time, you're gonna have to pay taxes on that $10,000. I like to do it this way because it streamlines everything that's gonna be there. When we're working one-on-one with clients, we use Schwab. A lot of great custodians out there is just who we use with our clients a lot of the times. Once this transfer takes place, I can see everything on this side of the board. We can help our clients make decisions. We can look to see if any mistakes are made, and we can generally catch them before taxes are due. So I really like this process. You do a like-kind transfer first. Once everything's at your custodian, then you deem how much you would like to convert. It is an extra step, but it really avoids so many problems that we've seen in the past. This is the reason we put that in place. I hope this answers your question. Now, if you're working with a financial advisor out there and you're planning your retirement and they don't quite understand the federal benefit system, it may be good to get a second opinion. They may be excellent in what they do. Maybe you want a little bit of advice on just how it works on the financial side of things for your federal benefits. That could be where we come in. If this is something you'd like help with, you can click the button below for an initial consultation. We can sit down virtually for an hour and chat about your personal situation. How are things set up? What are things that you know? What are things you know that may not be so as you're planning your retirement? So if that's something you're interested in, click that link below. Be happy to chat with you. And until next time, happy planning.